What is small has a point and loves Salesforce?
Uh,
A baby wizard admin.
oh, that's right. That's right. Congratulations. But how do you know he likes Salesforce already?
Mainly because the fact that I already have him holding Salesforce 1 in the palm of his hand.
But you gave that to him. You're a father who's forcing his likes and desires upon his child.
Yeah, what of it?
Okay, we all do it.
Yes, we do. Anyways, so that's my lame excuse for why we've missed a couple episodes. My family has recently expanded, and hopefully we'll return to a more semi-normal, typical WizardCast schedule.
No promises.
None at all. I'm Brian Kwong, also known as the Salesforce Wizard, and I'm joined by...
Mark Ross, Salesforce Yoda.
Welcome to the Wizard News WizardCast. This is a podcast for those who love Salesforce, but more importantly, it's a podcast where we sound stupid.
It's educational and entertainment. It's edutainment.
Mark, welcome to the 11th full episode of the WizardCast.
Okay. Thank you. I guess I feel welcomed.
Hey, this is a special, right? We're
Is
the
this?
number one. It's the number one episode twice with two ones in it. If you add
That
them
doesn't make
together,
any
it's
sense.
it's two. It's all right. Fine. Would you prefer to say, "Hey, it's been the 11th episode since we haven't had Parker Harris"?
I actually kind of missed it.
Oh,
So yeah.
Mark, I'm really excited for the 11th episode today
Why is that, Brian?
because it's the 11th episode without Parker Harris.
Nope, I was wrong. Take it back. Take it back.
So I don't know about you, Mark, but I'm planning a trip down to San Francisco in September.
Is that oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, it turns out I'm going too.
You are?
Yeah.
Would you be happy to be going around the 15th and the 18th?
Yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
that's the same time.
You
Yeah.
know, we should totally get together and do something if we're both down there.
Well, that depends on where you're going exactly, because different areas of San Francisco, it'd be a pretty big distance to travel.
I don't know. I always tend to be in the same general area, right around the Moscone west,
Oh,
north, and
really?
south area. Yeah.
Oh, well, what's going on there?
I'm going to this little convention known as Dreamforce.
Oh, no, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, I'm gonna be on the other side of town at the Gefilte Fish convention.
Oh, I've heard of that too. That's supposed to be really, really good.
No.
No?
You know what? No, no, no. No, you know what? I'm gonna cancel my ticket for that. I'm gonna go to Dreamforce instead.
Oh, I was going to say I was going to cancel my Dreamforce ticket and go to the Gefilte Fish.
I'm not sure what that says about either of us.
Hmm. Anyways, what are you doing to get ready for Dreamforce, Mark?
Well, now that I've suddenly decided I'm gonna go, I suppose I should come up with something. Well, okay. Having been to Dreamforce before,
You could pack.
I could pack. Packing is important. I would suggest to everybody listening that you pack. And pack clothes. That's also important.
Layered clothing, because it is San Francisco.
And it is September. And who knows what's going to happen? I mean, frankly, we could end up with 50-degree weather. We could end up with 90-degree weather. It has happened.
It could rain frogs, which is why I always wear my frog umbrella.
As long as it doesn't rain gefilte fish, that's fine.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Ugh.
The other thing that everyone always says is wear comfortable shoes. And
Mm.
I made the mistake one year, Mark, of I wore comfortable shoes because they're very, very, very well worn in.
Okay, that was a mistake?
Yeah, my feet hurt a lot. That was also the first year I took my Fitbit, and I was averaging 15,000 steps a day, and that's not counting all the time I was standing and waiting in lines.
Okay, but why was that bad exactly? I mean, if they're well worn and they're comfortable, what was wrong with it?
Well, because they had no soul left.
Oh, they were going to hell.
The other thing that people always say that you should do is when you are planning your Dreamforce schedule, make sure that you leave time in your schedule. Don't overbook yourself. Don't do something crazy and say you're going to go to tons of sessions, or maybe you're presenting and you're going to present a whole bunch of sessions and do a whole bunch of other stuff and not have time to do things like go to the admin zone or do networking or just go and hang out and explore what Dreamforce has to offer beyond the sessions and the
Exactly.
expo floor.
See, that's the thing about Dreamforce, is that there's this big push for the agenda builder, especially if you know what Dreamforce is, you know what the agenda is, then you're like, oh, I have to go and I have to get everything, and that's fine. Go do the agenda. If you haven't done it yet and you're gonna go do it right now. You're too late for a lot of stuff anyway, frankly. But always fill out.
There's
your
always
time.
walk-ins.
Well, yeah, I'll get to that. We'll get to that. But the point is, you sign up for everything. Frankly, you favorite everything. You want to have favorited so that you can look at it later. But if you miss stuff, that's fine, because every session, I believe, with the possible exception of like the admin theater and stuff like that, and the developer theater, is actually going to be recorded.
Well, they won't release things like anything that involves roadmaps typically aren't released.
This is true. That's true. So yeah, what don't they release? They don't do roadmap stuff. They haven't done theater stuff in the past. They probably
historically not all the hands-on training has been done.
Really? Depends. They do some.
Depends.
Don't count on it. I know that some of the hands-on trainings are being recorded outside of the session this year. For example, and we'll talk about this in a bit, our MVP hands-on training that Brian and I are putting on, we're actually recording it. We're going down to the Salesforce offices and recording it while we're there. So there you go, with the express purpose of putting it up. So there's
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Well, now you know. Knowing is half the battle.
That is.
So what else doesn't get recorded? I think some of the really special, like bettering yourself sessions don't always get recorded. Right?
And anything that's happening in the zones, so the admin zone and the dev zone up in Moscone West, those are huge places that typically don't get recorded. The expo hall wouldn't get recorded because that would be silly.
Yeah. And frankly, that's the thing, is there is a lot of stuff there that you will not be able to do elsewhere. And some of it, maybe you can do elsewhere, but when are you going to find the time? For example, they'll probably announce some sort of new product. Like a couple of years ago, it was the Salesforce One. And they had booths set up to test Salesforce One and to do like a quick 15-minute setup of Salesforce One. And if you hadn't done that, and I didn't, if you don't do that, then you leave Dreamforce going, well, I think I know what Salesforce One is. And somebody asks you if you want it to set it up, and you're like, well, okay, now I have to go figure that out. Rather than actually having that under your belt and having an understanding. Basically what I'm trying to say is take the opportunity, walk the expo floor, walk Moscone, was it West?
West.
Yeah. Even if you're not a developer, go up to the developer section and look around at their stuff and see what they have.
Last year, they had an Oculus Rift that was hooked up to a Salesforce org, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, except it wasn't configured to handle people with glasses, so that kind of sucked.
What we're saying is make sure you prioritize some time for the zones, the expo floor, and some of the other places to explore that aren't in the agenda builder. For example, in the admin zone, I happen to know that they're going to have a theater as well as live podcasting sessions.
Exactly. So, turns out we are actually going to be doing podcasting sessions.
And for our loyal listeners, and I know there's at least 2 of you out there, you may have recalled Mark and I having a discussion on where should we do the unofficially official meeting of the Flonatics.
Yes.
And Mark wanted it to do it in some horrible dark dive bar, whereas I wanted to do it in the admin zone. Well, your votes have spoken. Mark has been basically shut down. We will be doing a Flonatic meeting during our podcast sessions. And
That's right.
Do say sessions because we will do this twice.
Twice is nice. And
Yes.
On top of that, we can confirm that the product manager for Flow, Bill Takis, will be present at both of our podcast sessions.
We are so not worthy.
We're not worthy. We are not worthy.
This is not in the agenda builder, so make sure you make room on September 15th, which is Tuesday, at 1:30 p.m., and then again on September 17th, which is Thursday, at 10:30 in the morning. We will be going for an hour at a time, so if you want to stop by, say hello, meet us, maybe ask us some questions for a future episode or whatever, please come. At the very least, if you're a Flonatic, show up at our meeting so we can show Bill just how awesome we are.
Mm-hmm. Wait, we're awesome? I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Maybe I should stop using it. Even though our podcast sessions are not going to be in the agenda builder, some of the things we are going to be involved with are in the agenda builder.
That's true. So we have a process builder session that we're taking part in. That's called Accelerate and Automate using Process Builder. We're both contributing to that. What else are we doing?
I completely forgot about that one. Crap. We need to talk after this. The other one we're doing is Know When to Flow On. This is actually a repeat of a session that we did last year with Chris Duarte that kind of focuses on the different automation tools, workflow rules, the visual workflow, Apex, and when should you use each. It's going to be predominantly the same as last year, but little tiny changes because we have the new process builder this year.
Exactly. And if it gives the opportunity, if you didn't see it last year, you have something to come to.
Yeah. If no other else, come there and you can listen to my horrendous singing of my parody of Kenny Rogers.
It's bad. It's
terrible. Then Mark is going to be doing a session on advanced flow that focuses all on the fast elements and loops.
That's right. And this is a hands-on training. So unfortunately, actually, we should probably confirm this, but I believe it's booked up.
Well, even if it is booked up,
you can still
mark yourself as walk-in, because a lot of times
Yes.
people just don't show up. And so there's plenty of room. In some cases, they'll actually add additional seats or reserve seats for walk-ins for each session. So if you
they are doing for all of these.
So if you've used Flow in the past and you would like to get into a little bit more advanced examples, maybe you've created lots of flows but never used loops or fast elements before, this is a great session for you. It's at Thursday at 1:30. Mark will be there talking, and I'll be standing behind the desk controlling the slides and the demos, or the walkthroughs. Technically, they're walkthroughs, not demos.
You're the driver.
I'm the driver. I am driving Miss Ross. Like Daisy. No.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Okay.
I'm just a little weirded out now. So, what else are we doing? Do we have?
Are we doing
else?
anything else?
Trailhead Gladiators.
That's right. Trailhead Gladiators. This is going to be a weird one because this is actually on 3 different days because it is based on who wins. So there's a noon on Tuesday and 11:30 on Wednesday, and 3 p.m. on Thursday are Trailhead Gladiators. If you can only make one, you may want to make the final, which is Thursday at 3 p.m. However, if you really just want to see Mark and I, we are going to be at the noon session on Tuesday. We might be at the others, but it kind of depends on how we perform.
And we are going to be duking it out. Ooh, yeah, brother.
Yeah, we're actually on opposite sides.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's going to be me versus him. Guess who's going down? It's not me.
Well, is that because I'm going to stake you to the wall and you just won't be able to hit the ground?
I'm actually anticipating you'll collapse out of exhaustion.
Yeah, that's probably a lot more likely. So, show up at one of the sessions. We'd love to see you. Make sure you say hello. We will be having our microphone in tow most of the time, so if you would like to ask a question for a future episode or have a great joke, or let's face it, a terrible joke. We would love to have you on the show. Anyways, Mark, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Wait, I thought we were going to talk about other sessions that we were going to go to.
Are we? Because I don't know what sessions I'm going to go to.
You haven't decided?
I picked some of the keynotes.
Okay, well, I tell you what. Let me make some suggestions for people that are favorites of mine that will be back on Tuesday. They're doing it early this year. And previously, it's been on different days, but on Tuesday this year, they're doing the True to the Core session. And this is, if you're a Salesforce admin, which I'm guessing most of you are, it's basically a 1-hour session where they get Parker Harris and Shauna Wolverton and Todd Enders and a whole bunch of the product managers, and they all come together and they address the core issues of Salesforce, the accounts, cases, opportunities, workflow, things that are really considered to be really core to what Salesforce is.
And what's unique is that most of this is actually questions from the audience.
Oh, yeah.
So there'll be some quick overview, but the majority of the time is for us to go pepper the product managers and say, why haven't you given me X, or why is this working the way it's working when instead it should be working some other way?
And they are remarkably candid. They will be very honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what's really great is you get to see the faces of the product managers, you get to know their names, and you now have a way to contact them in the future when the thing's going wrong. Or if you just want to be able to provide some, useful feedback.
I'd also like to suggest, unfortunately this is really close in terms of time to the Trailhead Gladiator session, but Peter Coffey is doing a few sessions. One of them is on Tuesday, and it's basically just Peter Coffey talking about stuff. And if you ever have the opportunity to listen to Peter Coffey talking about stuff, you take that opportunity. He is one of the most intelligent people you will ever hear speak. And the one on Tuesday, he's specifically talking about modern technology, like really modern, like really recent, and what the implications of that technology are going to be on people, businesses, society. He can go on and on at length about anything and what its impacts are going to be. It's amazing to hear him speak.
So I got a couple ideas.
Okay.
There is The Power of One, the greatest formula ever written. This is at 9:30 on Thursday. It's a short 20-minute one. It's in the admin theater zone. If you do reports, you want to see this because it is amazing how one little formula can actually add so much power to your reports. The other one that you might be interested in is Formula Gurus, especially if you have not written a lot of formulas in the past.
Is that confirmed for this year?
Well, I'm looking at the sessions and it's
there you
listed at 1 p.m.
There you
on
go.
Thursday.
Most excellent. Most excellent. I think that didn't make it in the original run, and they must have added it back. Nice. I know on Friday in the, let's see, where is this? This is, looks like Moscone South in the main keynote room. A lot of the morning is going to be dedicated to essentially a single run of people speaking, and they're all people that are talking about self-management, about mindfulness, about improving yourself. And I'm actually kind of excited to go hear a lot of these, especially since I don't think that a lot of it's probably going to be recorded and put online. They typically haven't with these types of sessions, but it's essentially sessions that are talking about ways that you can improve your mind and improve how you approach life and how you approach business and things like that. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing some of those.
And then, of course, there's the Parker and Mark Benioff Q&A.
Oh, yes. Oh, and the admin keynote. Mustn't forget that.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Thursday. Looks like it's at 3:30 Pacific time, of course. The admin keynote over at Moscone West. And that will be important.
Yeah, and if you go to that, make sure you tell Jillian and Mike that you're there because we sent you.
Mm-hmm.
So now are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Brian. But if Jimmy cracks corn and no one cares, why does he keep doing it?
I don't know. I think I'll ask him. Maybe Fred will know, because now it's a time for a new Fred.
And in Fred, we ask a single question. We ask, what was your first time link?
With Salesforce.
It was life-changing.
Was it?
It absolutely was.
It rocked your world?
Actually, yes, it absolutely did. I got a dev org, and I looked into it. I logged in. super easy.
Right.
You have an email address, you have a dev org.
It's easy.
It's
those
easy,
dev orgs,
and you know
so
what?
Easy.
The turnaround time on getting it is just really quick.
Oh, so service was good.
You decided for your first time to go with the free option.
I'd hate to pay for it just to figure out that it wasn't what I wanted.
Right. You know, why pay
You gotta
for...
try the cow.
Why pay
try
for the
milk
milk
before you buy the cow.
Right.
So I opened it up and I said, and I'm not even kidding to prolong this double entendre thing. I said, ooh, that's sexy.
Double entendre? What double entendre?
This,
I don't know what you're talking
this
about.
is what I want to do with my life.
To do Salesforce.
Every day. Over and over. All day, every day, twice on Sunday. Hell yeah! Holla.
That's the achiever. That's the achiever part of your personality.
I mean, they say if you're not doing it every day, you're not doing it right.
Right.
I don't know who says that. I just said it.
Practice is important.
That's right.
It is. And, I've gotten a lot better over the last couple of
So
years.
you would say you're pretty good at it then?
I don't.
Everyone always has room for improvement.
Well, that's true.
Thank you.
I mean, you're never
I know I'm always learning.
you're never perfect, right?
Right.
And with 3 releases a year,
That's it. Just 3.
well, 3 Salesforce releases a year.
There are three big releases a
3
year.
big releases a
Then
year.
lots and
And
lots of little
you
releases.
know-
You need pages to cover it all.
Like
You do.
hundreds.
Hundreds of
You just
pages.
flip through that. You get in bed. You get
PDF,
cozy, and you're
baby.
like,
highlighters.
Mm-hmm.
Highlighters.
Control F.
Oh, holla.
So let me ask you.
Yeah, I said it. Control F. It's my friend.
So let me ask you this. I know you've both been around for a while with Salesforce.
Oh, we've been around the blog.
Have you
Together.
ever run into a situation where someone's, say, account page is so long that you just have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling?
You
the
just have to
page
keep going
before
until
you get what you need.
You're
Yeah,
like,
but you get to the
please,
bottom of the
are you
page."
finished yet, Paige?
And you know what? Yeah, it's painful. And really, frankly, I think I can say this because we're friends. Size matters. Am I right or am I right?
In which way? Bigger, better?
No, not always.
Not
Let's
always.
just say not
No,
always.
not
I
always.
mean, it's all in how you use it, right?
Absolutely.
That's so true. That is true. No, that is true.
What about form factor? Because you have a lot less width on your phone than, say, on your desktop.
It's all about responsive design.
Yep. It
all
really
about
is.
responsive design.
The more responsive, the better.
Absolutely.
There's a rhythm to what you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that your Salesforce instance really replies
Yes.
to your rhythm.
Yes.
And
don't
when that
want-
changes, you want Salesforce to change too.
Yeah, you don't want a static page, something that just sits and lies there.
No.
Nobody likes
would be-
that.
It's gotta be
like
dynamic.
a dead
Dynamic.
fish of an org.
It's
not.
got to be breathing,
Yes.
living.
A living, breathing org.
Right.
Well, this has been a very enlightening experience.
I kind of feel like I need to take a private moment.
I'll be over here.
WizardCast is produced by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, directed by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, technical administration by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, script writing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, audio editing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, website maintenance by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, diaper disposable satellite by Brian Kwong, not Mark Ross. Our intern this episode is just the sound of crickets.
Crickets?
Yes, crickets, the sound that represents awesomeness in all audio-only formats everywhere.
That was a dig at the Button Click Admin podcast and Jillian, wasn't it?
Oh, no, because I love Jillian. She's awesome.
Mm.
I would never
Mhm.
make a dig at her.
Sure. Okay. Send us your interview suggestions, jokes, videos, tips, and feedback to wizardcast@thewizardnews.com or head over to thewizardnews.com and click Contact WizardCast.
You can also join us at the Success Community in our chatter group called WizardCast. And don't forget to subscribe to the WizardCast and receive our next episode automagically. Once again, I'm Brian.
And I'm Mark.
Thanks for listening.